Hello, my friends. This is Pinky.
And this is Priyanka.
And we're here to call out all things PakeAsPuck.
The fingers.
Air piano instead of air guitar. All right, how was your week?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Pretty good.
No one's mushroom stamping anything?
Yo.
I have to do
Wait.
Yes.
I do have a story.
There we go.
My youngest is 2.
He's got a man bun.
And he woke up one day.
No. Already, the story's horrible.
And he decided, I'm a big boy, right? Rips off his diaper. And then is trying to climb onto the toilet. I wasn't expecting this at all.
Potty training.
I was not expecting this to happen. So I was off doing something else. He was playing with his siblings. And I heard a scream. And I have a fear because, of course, I've read all these stories and heard them.
So many stories.
Of kids getting trapped in dryers, kids falling into the toilet and drowning themselves. You know, like all this stuff that, like, you just
as a parent
don't expect to happen. But, like,
yeah.
I hear a scream and I went running. And he is, like, bear crawling onto the toilet to sit on it. And I'm like, okay, honey, I get that you feel like you're a big boy, but you ask for help, bud. Okay? You think, I'm stuck, you know? But whatever, we helped him out. He sat down. And then he refused to put on another diaper. Like, he insisted on wearing underwear.
All right.
So we're going to go with it, right? Like,
it's go time.
Who am I to talk you out of this?
Exactly.
I'm asking every couple of hours, hey, let's go sit down. Let's try to use the potty. Just as I did with the other 2, his process is going to be different, I know. Mm-hmm. But whatever. So every couple of hours. I worked out and then I wanted to go shower. So I asked my oldest one to just keep an eye on the kids. Mm-hmm. But to make things easier on her as well, I asked the younger one to go to the bathroom. I'm like, let's just go empty.
Right.
Before I run. I needed like a quick like body shower. Like I wasn't trying to do anything fancy. There was
it wasn't an all shower.
Caretakers in the house. I just needed to run in and just like rinse off.
Right.
I get out of the shower.
Mm-hmm. As one does.
And they come running in.
Oh God. Into the shower.
No.
Into the bedroom.
Into my bedroom.
Okay.
He pooped in my bed!
No.
Yes.
What?
Like,
who pooped
what?
Where?
The little one. He pooped in his sister's bed. She was reading them stories.
And he just...
And, no. But not only did it happen, but then they had to come and tell me.
Yeah.
So there's little drops of turd all through the carpet, down the hallway.
Who told him this is okay? How did he come up with this?
But it's like, it was all oozing out of his underwear.
Ew! How did you not throw
up? It
up?
was so excessive. And this all happened in a matter of like 7 minutes.
Not even, no.
Like after I had sat him down.
No.
And I wasn't mad, like...
You can't be mad, he's 2 years old,
I was just
but
like, I just showered and I have to clean this, and it still didn't totally feel clean, you know?
Oh.
We brought out, like, the big vacuum, a sanitize cycle and everything. I tossed some stuff.
At that point, you have to.
Yeah, I was just like, what just happened? And then he kept insisting on reminding me that he's a big boy, and I'm just like, you are in training.
You're a big boy in training.
Yeah, like,
okay?
let's just, add this little suffix.
Disclaimer. Yeah.
Like, you are a big boy. Thank you for trying. Like, just all the positive reinforcement. But I'm just like, we're going to keep a diaper on. Okay?
So he hasn't wanted his underwear again?
He doesn't really like it. He says that it's itchy and he's uncomfortable. And I'm like, okay. So we take him and we try to get him to, like, just sit down or whatever. But I don't think he's ready to free ball it.
Oh my God. I don't know what I would do if that happened. I think I would have just burned the house down. I'd be like, let's move. Let's just move.
It was really bad.
There's shit smell everywhere. Like
It didn't smell.
Well, that's
fortunately, it wasn't like that kind of stinky, but it was disgusting. I was like, I don't even know like where to begin.
like I don't even like cleaning Nacho's poop. Roommate number 4.
That's
I don't
like
even
not.
like.
My husband deals with the dog. I don't do it.
Yeah.
I just play with her. I'm like, no.
Well, you're dealing with the kids,
Yeah.
right? So that he can deal with the dog.
My dog did once shit in my office, and I was really pissed about it. Oh, no. But then I also, like, you know, the fluffy side of me, I was just like, oh my God, are you sick? Like, what's wrong?
But Nacho knows, like, he knows, like, because he's gotten to the point, like, with him, because he's so old now,
Yeah.
he's becoming more rebellious. I didn't tell you this. Yeah. He is becoming more rebellious, and, I mean, we can get into it in a different
He'll
episode.
just look at you like, well, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, I mean, like, bitch, you're the one picking up my shit, okay? And I'm like, you're right!
Aww.
I'm the idiot that's picking up your poop, okay? I guess you're the boss now. Oh my God, I can't believe that happened.
So yeah, that did happen just a few days ago.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I actually forgot about that. It's funny how our brain just blocks things out of your memory.
I mean,
until
your brain is used to blocking traumatic things out of your, memory. This is why you don't really remember childhood growing up or anything.
I did take a photo though, so if you ever want
Oh my God, I don't want to see turd everywhere. No way, Jose.
just so you know.
No.
You know, like what I dealt with. Yeah.
Anyways, all right, that's going to bring us to the next topic of what grinds your gungies. Do you have a topic ready? Are you thinking about one? Just say yes.
Yeah.
Priyanka, what right now is grinding your gungies? What's up there outside of Poopy Pants McGee that you got?
So it's auntie gossip.
But like, is it actual gossip, or because there's 4 different levels?
This is stemming from me recently hanging out with a lot of my elders. Okay.
Okay.
But
Let it out.
But
Let it out, girl. I'm ready.
it's the conversation topic that they feel the need to have. And I am just sitting there like, why are we talking about this?
Like, what were they talking about?
Like, oh, did you know so-and-so is having another baby? Like, what do you care? Or, did you know that they already had a baby? They just got married.
But I thought that
And
was
then they improvise, right? Like, maybe that's why they had to get married. Like, no!
That's
maybe.
for sure gossip. That's
Right, you know
for sure
what I mean?
gossip.
Like, it's
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
I'm sitting here, and a lot of times, especially with like Desi culture, sometimes you just get stuck with the ladies.
Oh my God.
And then they start talking about this sort of stuff, and I'm just like, I'm looking for an out. Like, can you just call me over so I don't have to sit through this? But it's that level of topic. What, and this came up, so-and-so, they just got married. They're already pregnant? What? What do you care?
Isn't that what they want anyways?
Like, what do you care?
Like, if they didn't get pregnant, then they would be mad. Oh, when are you going to have kids?
Right.
And now
First,
they
it's
want
like,
to know?
well, why aren't you, when are you going to get married? Why aren't you getting married? Why don't you want to get married? You're not talking to somebody? That's a problem. Then, when you actually meet somebody that you're finally ready to spend the rest of your life with, whether it was because you got knocked up beforehand or not, that's besides the point. Then it's a problem of when you took the next step.
But that's not when it starts. The thing is, as soon as you turn 18, or as soon as you finish college, in some Desi aunties' eyes, right?
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you finish college, they expect you to be married. And it's like, but wait, you told me not to talk to the opposite sex.
Right.
This whole entire time.
I got no game.
You sheltered me this whole entire time. You told me I had to worry about my studies this whole entire time because I had to follow that traditional path. I had to get educated and get a dumbass corporate job to make
How dare you talk to boys
How
and not
dare I
focus
talk to
on
boys?
school?
And then as soon as after I'm done walking that stage, getting my degree, getting my diploma, and I sit down, immediately, why are you not married yet? What game am I going to use to get dick? None. None. That's when it starts. That's when, and then these aunties, and I get it because I hate it. Like, I
get bored in those conversations.
I shut it down, especially when it turns into like getting really mean and nasty. right? Like you said, it starts with the whole like they don't want you to talk to boys, but then they want you to get married out right outside of school with no game at all. So how are you supposed to know who to pick, right? And then you get married, and then they're like, or you don't get married and you're with somebody for 7 years and they're like, what's wrong with him? Why aren't you going to marry him? What if we have debt we're paying off? What if we want to start our life? You're
It
not
doesn't matter. They're
asking.
not entitled to that information.
Exactly. I'm like, why don't, the thing I've noticed with auntie gossip and is they are more than happy to shit on other people without self-reflecting. Like, oh my God,
Never.
she gained so much weight. It's like, bitch,
They'll
you look
never
like a
look at
fucking lundu
themselves.
over here. Like, all these aunties constantly, and I get it all the time because I'm not a skinny mini, right? And the fact that they have no sort of like self-control, no sort of like shut 'em or anything, they will gossip right in front of you. Like, I had somebody at a wedding 2 years ago before we did that Larry King or that
The sign.
Jerry Seinfeld thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Not Jerry Seinfeld.
Springer.
Springer.
Jerry Springer thing. So, I was at that wedding beforehand, and I hadn't seen these people in a long ass time. Like, long ass time. And the first thing they said, they were like, oh, Binku, you got so big. And because I was making social media content and I don't have a filter, I looked at one of them and I was like, oh, auntie, you got so old. And my mom got so mad at me. She's like, Binku, you can't say that. I was like, that bitch just told me I got fat. And I was like,
That you said that though.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I was like, oh my
That's
God,
ballsy.
you got so old. It's like, you don't know if I have a fucking thyroid problem?
I know the big eye thing. Like over the holidays, I was talking to my mother-in-law about stuff, and my mom was over, and me, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, we are pretty casual with our conversations.
Yeah.
But I called my father-in-law out on something, and my mom was just like bug-eyed, like.
Yeah. Well, don't say that.
I'm like, yo, bro, like,
We're tight.
you need to see yourself out on this one.
Yeah,
Like, we're
yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't.
But it's just like, what?
Why did you say
You
that?
talk back? No, I did not talk back.
No
I'm
one's
having
talking
conversation.
Yeah. The
Whatever.
whole auntie gossip thing, they again, it goes back to they have nothing better to talk about. So they want to talk about other
so
people.
boring. Yeah, like you have nothing insightful.
I know. And it's like what you want to know how much we're raw dogging it every week to see if we got pregnant or not? Is that what you want to know? You want to know my sex schedule? You worrying about the baby? You going to pay for diapers? Like,
Yeah.
these are questions I have when people insert themselves and try to give unsolicited advice. I'm just like, who are you to me?
I got shit for having a third.
Why?
Well, you have one of each. Why would you have a third? And I'm just like, oh, okay. Like, and that was actually said to me. Like, you have one of each. Why would you want a third? And I'm like,
Do you know how sex works? Do you know how unproductive sex
I got carried away on a Tuesday afternoon. My bad.
works? We like to have fun. We actually like our spouses. Like, what?
I just said, oops. I was just like, my bad.
What did you expect from me?
I know, and I said, oops, I didn't know I had a quota.
Yeah.
Because I was just offended by that. I was so
She'd
pissed.
be like,
Like,
wait, you didn't tell me.
you can say congrats and just shut up.
Right. They don't, see, that's because they didn't go to school here. You know how the beige people in school taught us if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Yeah. They didn't go to school. They just
They
made
didn't
us go
have
to
to
school.
say anything at all.
They don't
Like, it
have
was
to
just
say
so
anything.
stupid.
They're just idiots.
That one, obviously, it's been 2 years, and it still sticks out.
But, that brings us to this week's hot take, right? All right, so this week's hot take is...
I think it's a good one.
Go for it.
It's about entitlement to information, more so on a cultural aspect.
Yeah.
So family members feeling entitled to know certain information about milestones in your life, and then you on the other side of it just feeling obligated to share that.
Right.
So the pressure of it, whether you're ready or not. I don't really know how that, like, what's the topic title really for that, but it's just...
Yeah, I mean, it stems back to what you were saying earlier in the fact that all of these relatives, they feel like because they watched you get married, because they had some sort, like, because they came to your wedding, so they invested time in your wedding. and then they gave you a gift. So now they feel that they are entitled to know everything, every aspect of your life.
Really?
With some of them, that's what it is. They feel entitled to that because A, they're older and we're
Yeah.
supposed to respect our elders. And so if they give us, if they question us like, oh, how come you don't have babies yet? Then you're supposed to give them an honest answer, not a snarky one. You're supposed to give them an honest answer and be like, oh, well, we're trying, or a vegan. And then if you're too vague, like we're trying, they don't want that. They want the full-blown detail so that because they're bored, so that they can go have something to talk about with somebody else.
Yeah. I think it's the gossip aspect of it. Like, they need to report back.
Right.
Almost.
And it's like, you haven't talked to this person in a year. You haven't talked to this person since you saw them at their wedding. And let's face it, she was the bride. You were in the audience. You didn't really talk to her. She was busy. You don't even know what her favorite fucking color is.
Yeah.
But yet you want to know when she's pregnant. Why? Are you going to send a gift?
Yeah.
Are you gonna set up a college fund for this child?
Yeah.
Like, you have no vested interest, but you want to know everything because information is power. The more information you have, the more power you hold over other people.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why...
And that's what they bring to the table at their kiddie parties.
Right. Oh my God, the kiddie parties.
I can see that.
Oh my God, I'm so glad we didn't call this
It's just so frustrating. Like, I'm never probably going to deal with that again. But it started off with like, oh, you bought a house.
Yeah.
Oh, how much did you buy your house for?
That's...
I hate that question so much.
I hate the how much
information
question.
that like people feel entitled to know. And I mean, I say that word a lot because that's what it is. Like, they just expect you to call them and tell them like, hey, by the way, we closed on a house, or we're expecting, like, just because you found out you're pregnant doesn't mean that you have to call everybody and tell them.
Right. Like, do I need to create a newsletter and send it out? Is that what you like?
You had the baby. You don't need to know right when you had that baby.
No.
You'll share when you share it, right?
And you probably shouldn't know, because that's the other thing that gets me. And you can tell me if it's a different topic, because I don't want to get offhand. But that's the other thing. Like, as soon as, like, the whole baby thing, okay? Obviously, I come from a family that didn't have babies, right? Get married, move here. Now, my husband comes from a bigger family friends. Now, there's a lot of people having babies at different times. So now I'm exposed to babies. I didn't even know. So in our culture, it's something called chakti, where it's the baby's 6th day, and then everybody comes to give them blessings. Why does everybody need to come to someone's house who just had a baby when the baby's 6 days old, when it's susceptible to all infectious diseases? Why do you need to do this?
Did this happen recently?
This is something that happens culturally here. Yeah. And my whole thing is, why do we need to do this? This baby, like, when roommate number 2 was born, right? Granted, it was 17 years ago, but it still happens now. He was born, he was in the NICU, so he didn't come home. So we didn't have this religious ceremony for him. And I was like, why? He's still born. Don't you still want to bless him? If at the end of the day, the point of this ceremony is to bless the new baby, which is what you keep touting to me, this is what you keep explaining to me, then why did it matter that this new baby was in the hospital getting stronger and not here? You could have still done everything that you needed to do, but you didn't want to do it. And the other aspect is, if my baby comes home with me, any baby, especially in the wintertime, you don't want to expose that baby to old people and germs. Yeah. Or germs in general. Like, you want to wait at least 3 months, but like, you can't tell these people 3 months later, because they will get so offended.
Right.
You didn't tell me when you had the baby right away. Were you going to stitch me up?
So,
like, they want to be in the delivery room.
Back in the day, I don't know what the expectations were. Like, I didn't talk to my mom about this, about how she felt after she had children and how she felt about having people in the home. It was just expected, and they conformed. Yeah. They did it.
Because they didn't feel strong enough. Yeah.
Whereas when it was my turn to have children and bring them home, I did not feel comfortable. Like, I, from the get-go, did not want anybody at the hospital. I was very particular about who came into the room, because I don't like feeling vulnerable like that in front of everybody. Yeah. But it was a fight. It's like, well, what do you mean? You don't want people to come see you at the hospital? I'm like, no.
Like,
And
oh,
then,
like after you delivered, you
like
didn't want
after,
people.
I didn't want people
Oh,
in.
okay.
I didn't want anybody to come see me at the hospital. No, like real talk. I had a couple of my friends come to see me at the hospital, but I was comfortable with them. And I swear it was the day after I had the baby. And I'm sitting there in the bed.
Mm-hmm.
My kid is in the bassinet, and my like three best girlfriends are sitting right across me. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, huh, I'm pretty sure I just pissed myself. I don't want to do that in front of my
No.
aunts and uncles that I just don't know you like that.
Yeah.
And I can't be vulnerable with.
Yeah.
I was totally fine. I would have done it with you.
Yeah.
You probably could have been in that room for all I care.
Right.
But
But it's a different
our rapport is
relationship.
different.
Yeah.
Like I,
Well, and that's
but people feel this
sense of
need like,
entitlement.
why did,
Yes.
oh, you had the baby, you didn't tell us, or our parents don't respect what we want to have
They
done,
don't respect
and
boundaries.
they just go ahead and text everybody a photo. Like
Yes.
it didn't have. I controlled it.
Oh my God.
I released one image that I was comfortable with everybody seeing. Like, I'm not about to send you the first bare butt photo. Like, I just wasn't about to do that. I made sure the kid was wrapped,
Yeah.
all that good stuff, because I've read enough.
But
I
that's
didn't
the
want to.
thing.
I didn't want to deal with it, and that was such a problem. They're like, "Well, you didn't send me a picture. People are sending me texts, phone calls while I'm in labor," and I'm like, "Turn your phone off, dude." Like,
I don't know how you do that. No, I'm like, they feel like they have a right to something,
yes,
and that's what it is. They feel like, and luckily and I know we're using this as an example to like have the conversation, but luckily I had to have C-sections with both of my children because then I didn't have to have that fight of is my mom and my mother-in-law in the delivery room. Like
God.
I would not have wanted my mother-in-law in the delivery room because I would be like, how are you going to help me? And in hindsight, like my mother-in-law was in the delivery room with my husband's sister-in-law. Like I ended up in the delivery room. I was like, I'm on the wrong end of things. I was holding a foot. Like I saw our niece getting born. It's fine. You know, I wasn't like grossed out by it, but I was just like, should I actually be here? Like, am I allowed, like, how am I here? And like our mother-in-law is sitting on the sofa, like the chair next to the bed that our sister-in-law is sleeping. Like she's not doing anything except stressing out.
yeah,
Her mom is there, and her mom is like on one side, and then her husband, my husband's brother, was on the other side. You know, like
Yeah.
encouraging her, stuff like that. And her mom was like, you know, you can do this. Like she was really supportive of her own mother, but my mother-in-law was just sitting there, and I was like, I'm so glad I didn't have to have this conversation.
Yeah.
Because I would have been like, okay, fine, everybody can be like, I wouldn't have liked it.
it's different for everybody. Like, was your sister-in-law like bugged by that?
She was so deliriously in pain that I was
Like some people are perfectly comfortable
yeah,
with
and
having
that's
that,
fine.
and that's fine.
But like,
But if she was really bothered by that, I wish people would just see like maybe I shouldn't be here.
but like, you know, we're not allowed that freedom to have boundaries
I think that's
based on our culture.
Yeah.
Like when we set boundaries, and we're doing a better job now, right? Mm-hmm. Better late than never. But we are not allowed to set boundaries based on anything that has to do with Desi culture, because that immediately to the older boomer generation is an affront. They're like, oh, you don't want me to know? Why don't you want me to know? Why don't you want me there? How are you going to be helpful? What are you going to do? I want to know these details because everybody that's in that room with me has a job. And guess who has the most important job? Me and the doctor delivering the baby.
Yeah.
If you're just going to sit in the chair next to my bed, rocking and freaking out, maybe you should go do that in the waiting room.
It's very
Like,
distracting.
you're not the one that's in pain right now. She is. Like, your phantom pains from 40 years ago when you had your child means nothing now. Like,
Yeah.
we're
They're just there to hold the baby.
like, and not even that. It's like, what do you, and oh my God, it just, they feel like they have some sort of right because they've lived this long and they've lived through these struggles. And I'm like, well, you lived through these struggles because you didn't speak up.
Yes.
And granted, you didn't feel comfortable to speak up back then because it was, you know, the 50s or the 60s and the culture in itself. But then when you see, you know, your daughter or your daughter-in-law who is finding these holes and who is saying, how about A, B, C, and D instead, because she's putting down boundaries.
But
Respect
we get
those
in
boundaries.
trouble for that.
I'm saying they need to respect the boundaries.
Right, like
they're not proud of us.
You weren't capable of doing it. And I'll just go back to my own upbringing. Right?
Yeah, go.
My mom brings
up... What the fuck is this? You got a hole in your sock? Get the hell out of here.
Oh, good. It keeps my feet warm.
All right, okay. Air conditioning.
So, shut up.
Serious.
So, what was I saying?
Your own experience culture. Sorry.
My mom is very concerned about what people think.
Oh my God, they all are. That's all Desi boomers.
The samaj, what are people going to say? This and that, whatever. Believe it or not, Ma, you raised an outspoken woman.
Whether you wanted to or not, this is what happened.
Somehow
you brought her to America.
Right, like anything that she was not capable of saying, and I'm learning this as I raise my kids as well.
Yeah.
That anything that she wasn't able to say, I am able to say. And even with me, like things that were like shut down within myself are things that my kids do, and I'm like, okay, they're kind of like what's it called? Like they're showing me my inner child in a way. Yeah. Like they're
reminding you,
living proof of the person that I kind of had to dim. I don't know.
Yeah. So they're living their childhood how you wish you could have lived your childhood.
Perhaps, like I don't remember it.
Yeah.
But they're bringing that part of me to light.
Yeah.
You know, and so at least that's what I'm trying to bridge the gap with. Whatever my mom wasn't able to say to her elders growing up. I do speak. But then why, when I question it and I draw the boundary, are you bug-eyed getting mad at me because I'm being assertive?
Right.
I don't even want to say I'm being outspoken because I'm questioning and being assertive and critically thinking about whatever you've preached my whole life.
Right. Like instead of being proud of us as their daughters or daughter-in-laws who are speaking up.
She's trying to shut it down.
They try to shut it down.
And keep us submissive, and that's annoying.
Like they still, the fact that they still do that after living here in America for so many years.
And we're married with children and you still feel like you have to, dude, this is like a whole other thing, okay?
Yeah.
I fight about this. Because there's times where I'm just like, when I got married, you insisted on doing kanyadan, this and that, and gave me away.
Right.
I am, in Gujarati, what they call parki. I'm the daughter. I was given away. I am apparently not under their control, not their property.
How many cows did they have to give Nielsen? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
No, I got the cows. It was Niels Vidai. Because he moved here. I did not leave my town for him.
Yeah.
So they had to give me the dowry. Anyways, so I don't even know where I was going yet. Man.
Well, but the fact that we're still married and they still treat us...
Right, they like gave me away. You're not like a part of them. And then it's like you still feel the need to throw in the 2 cents. Why?
Right.
So then I'll just be like, I'm not yours anymore. I'll deal with my other family now. I'm just like...
Well, I mean, they make it such a big deal. Like, the whole wedding process, right? They like, that last part where they're giving the daughter away. Like, there's so many tears. And every time I'm at an Indian wedding and I watch this...
Do you cry at weddings?
No.
I can't!
Every time. It's
just so comical.
No, it is. Yes.
I'm just thinking, they're like, why are you crying?
I'm like, yo, you're both going to the same hotel room and changing and coming back in like 2 hours. Like
I just don't get it. I cried at one wedding, and that was my best friend's wedding, and it was only because like I felt her sadness. Like she was packing up her stuff and just moving.
Yeah. That's a little different.
And I really just like...
Like, she literally was moving. But, like, I was at a wedding in September.
Yeah.
And the girl lives here.
Yeah.
And we got to that part of the wedding. And they're, like, her parents are giving her away. And they're, like, her like, grandma, her ma is crying. And her mom is crying. And I was a little... I had taken some adult savage kids, and they're crying, and I shouted, "Who's crying?"
Stop!
I did. Everybody's like, did you just
You
ask that?
can't take you out in public. Oh my god.
I was like, who's crying? I was like, why is she crying? We're gonna
But
see
they're
her
like scream crying, okay?
Yeah, I was like, we're gonna see her tomorrow at the reception. Like,
Yo,
why are you crying? She's going home with you.
At my vidai, I didn't cry. I got a little teary-eyed when I saw my dad get kind of sad.
Yeah.
And I just have like a really special place for my dad. And if my dad's sad, it hits you different, you know?
Yeah.
But then I saw his sisters crying, and I'm just like, I don't even like you. Like, why are you crying? We don't talk. Why are you crying at my wedding? And then I realized that they pulled a Joey from Friends, and then they just really wanted to get a picture of them crying.
Oh, for sure.
On
It's
my
all about the
like
pictures.
they wanted a hug.
It's all about
and
the
they're
pictures.
crying on me, and I'm like, okay, this is really weird because we don't hug. Like
Exactly.
I don't talk to them.
Like, you don't even talk to them, but they felt entitled to be in the frame to get pictures.
Yeah, they were like front row,
front and center.
Yeah,
Front and center.
like they had no business being there.
Yeah.
But they were right there, and then they're crying, and I was just like, okay, am I supposed to hug you now? Like, they're there.
They're there. They're there.
I'll see you in about an hour.
I
need
know.
my Taco Bell.
Oh my gosh. That's what I'm saying. Anyways, okay. That's it for now. If you guys want to hear about more Indian wedding stuff, let us know in the comments. We will be more than happy to do an episode because we have the same experiences probably. But thank you for listening and or watching. We definitely appreciate it. We hope this episode helped you to see other things that are PakeAsPuck. Leave any questions, topic ideas in the comments below, and don't forget to follow. Okay, bye!
Bye!